What if I told you that the reason you're still struggling to speak English isn't because you're bad at English? It's not because you're too old. It's not because you have a weak vocabulary. And it's definitely not because you have the wrong accent. The real reason most people never become fluent English speakers is because they spend years learning English, but almost no time actually speaking it. Think about it for a second. How many English lessons have you watched? How many grammar rules have you studied? How many vocabulary lists have you memorized? Probably hundreds. But when it's time to speak with a real person, suddenly your mind goes blank. Your heart starts beating faster. You know the words, but they refuse to come out. If that sounds familiar, then this challenge is for you. My name is Michael, and welcome to Talk Fluent English. Today, I'm going to show you how you can completely transform your English speaking skills in the next 30 days. This isn't magic. It's not a secret formula. It's a practical system that focuses on the one thing most English learners avoid: speaking. And by the end of this video, you'll understand exactly how to train your brain to think, understand, and communicate in English naturally. The first thing you need to understand is that fluency is not about knowing more English. Fluency is about using the English you already know. Most learners believe they need thousands of words before they can speak confidently. That's simply not true. In fact, many native English speakers use a surprisingly small number of words in their daily conversations. The difference is that they use those words confidently and naturally. Imagine learning how to drive a car. You can read every driving book ever written. You can watch thousands of driving videos. You can memorize every traffic rule. But until you actually sit behind the wheel and start driving, you won't become a driver. English works exactly the same way. You don't become fluent by studying English. You become fluent by speaking English. That mindset alone can completely change your progress. One of the biggest mistakes learners make is waiting until they feel ready. They tell themselves that they'll start speaking after learning more grammar. Then they decide they need more vocabulary first. A few months later, they still aren't speaking. Then a few years pass, and they're still waiting. The truth is that confidence doesn't come before speaking. Confidence comes because of speaking. Every fluent English speaker was once a beginner. Every confident speaker was once nervous. Every person who sounds natural today once made hundreds of mistakes. The difference is that they didn't let those mistakes stop them, and neither should you. For the next 30 days, your goal is simple. Stop focusing on being perfect. Start focusing on being consistent. When children learn their first language, they make mistakes constantly. Nobody expects a child to speak perfectly. Yet, many adult learners expect perfection from themselves on the very first day. That's unrealistic, and it creates fear. Instead of worrying about mistakes, start viewing them as evidence of progress. Every mistake teaches you something. Every mistake moves you closer to fluency. Every mistake is part of the journey. Now let's talk about something that changes everything: thinking in English. Most learners translate. They hear something in English, then they translate it into their native language. Then they create a response in their native language. Then they translate it back into English. By the time they're ready to answer, the conversation has already moved on. That's why conversations feel stressful. Your brain is doing too much work. The solution is simple. Start thinking directly in English. At first, it feels strange, but that's completely normal. Look around your room. What do you see? A chair, a table, a phone, a window. Instead of naming those objects in your native language, train yourself to identify them in English. Then, describe them. The chair is black. The window is open. The phone is on the table. Simple thoughts become powerful practice. As days pass, your brain begins creating direct English connections, and eventually, translation starts disappearing. That's when fluency begins to develop. Another powerful habit is talking to yourself. Now, I know that sounds a little funny, but hear me out. Some of the world's best language learners talk to themselves regularly. Why? Because speaking requires practice, and you don't always need another person to practice. Describe your day. Talk about your plans. Explain what you're doing. Share your opinions out loud. The more your mouth forms English sentences, the easier speaking becomes. Many learners spend hours listening. Many spend hours reading, but very few spend hours speaking. And speaking is the skill they actually want. If your goal is speaking fluently, then speaking must become a daily habit. Let's talk about listening. Listening is one of the fastest ways to improve your speaking ability. Think about how children learn language. Before they speak, they listen. They listen thousands of times. Their brains absorb patterns. They absorb pronunciation. They absorb rhythm. They absorb natural expressions. You can do exactly the same thing. Listen to English podcasts. Watch interviews. Watch YouTube videos. Watch movies. Watch TV shows. Don't worry about understanding every word. Focus on understanding the message. The more English your brain hears, the more natural English starts feeling. And when English feels natural, speaking becomes easier. Now, let's discuss pronunciation. Many learners become obsessed with sounding American. Others want a British accent. Some worry constantly about their accent. Here's the truth. Your goal is not to sound American. Your goal is to sound clear. Communication matters more than accent. A clear speaker with a foreign accent is easier to understand than a native speaker who mumbles. Focus on clarity. Focus on pronunciation. Focus on confidence. Your accent is part of who you are. Never be ashamed of it. As long as people understand you, you're succeeding. One thing that surprises many learners is how important confidence really is. Two people can have exactly the same English level. One speaks confidently, the other speaks fearfully. Most listeners will think the confident person speaks better English. Confidence changes everything. And confidence grows through action, not through waiting, not through studying, through action. Every conversation makes you stronger. Every sentence makes you stronger. Every attempt makes you stronger. That's why consistency matters so much. Imagine practicing English for 10 minutes every day. It doesn't sound like much, but after a month, that's 5 hours. After a year, that's over 60 hours. Small actions create massive results over time. Most people underestimate what they can achieve in 1 year, and they overestimate what they can achieve in 1 day. Focus on daily improvement, not overnight transformation. As you continue your journey, there will be days when speaking feels easy. There will also be days when speaking feels difficult. That's normal. Progress is not a straight line. Some days you'll feel amazing. Some days you'll feel frustrated. Keep going anyway. The people who become fluent aren't the people who never struggle. They're the people who keep practicing when things get difficult. That's the difference. Persistence, consistency, commitment, and eventually something incredible happens. One day, you'll start speaking without translating. You'll understand conversations faster. You'll express ideas more naturally. You'll notice yourself speaking longer without stopping. And you'll realize something. You're becoming fluent. Not because you found a shortcut, not because you discovered a secret, but because you showed up every day and practiced. That's how fluency is built. One sentence at a time. One conversation at a time. One day at a time. If you're watching this right now, I want you to make a promise to yourself. Stop waiting for the perfect moment. Stop waiting until your grammar is perfect. Stop waiting until your vocabulary is bigger. Start today. Start speaking today. Start making mistakes today. Start improving today. Because 1 month from now, you'll either wish you had started today, or you'll be grateful that you did. The choice is yours. Thank you for spending this time with me. I truly believe that anyone can improve their English speaking skills with the right mindset and consistent practice. Remember, fluency is not about perfection. Fluency is about communication. Keep practicing, keep learning, keep believing in yourself, and most importantly, keep speaking English every single day. I'm Michael, and this is Talk Fluent English. Thank you for watching, and I'll see you in the next video. Until then, stay motivated, stay confident, and keep moving one step closer to fluency every single day. Goodbye.